Okay, new section in our series on UCAT, the University Clinical Aptitude Test, quantitative reasoning. Again, all the resources here coming from the UCAT website, which is over that way, if I can point correctly. There's the logo, the link is in the description. Now, this one is one that I find quite straightforward, but again, I know a number of people don't. This one, you will not have a calculator to bring in with you, but you will have your on-screen calculator. So the quantitative reasoning section, we're going to spend a little while on some examples here, and I'm going to give you some tips to get around the clunkiness of the online calculation, right? So it's 36 questions in 26 minutes. It's fast, okay? 43 seconds per question. A lot of students report that while there is an on-screen calculator, you won't have time to use it. Now, another tip I've been given from a student who's done it is you learn to use the keypad. You put number lock on and learn to use the keypad on a standard keyboard. That's this guy over here with all the little plus and minus buttons, which again, as someone who is a millennial, I am surprised that you guys don't know how to do, but apparently that's something he had to learn to be good at this particular section. However, I would say common sense check, right? Common sense check is really important. A lot of these things you can do via estimation, and I'm going to give you this tip on what's sometimes called the Zequals method. And if you go to the wonderful YouTube channel on Numberphile, you can look at more details on the Zequals method to estimate. And it's something that in my general teaching, I get really annoyed that students can't do. They can't go, does that look about right? Remember, this is multiple choice. Your answer doesn't have to be exact. It has to be good enough to get you to the right number out of A, B, C, D, or E. You don't need to jump straight into calculation and get precise answers, okay? Estimation is good enough, right? So let me show you an example. We're going to work through a few questions on the same example. Now, like with the verbal reasoning, it's not 36 separate sets of data, right? It's some data with maybe 4 or 5 questions on each. So you'll get a number of questions on the same set of data, which is good because it means you don't have to read a new set of data 36 times, all right? So let's look at this one. So here is the example, again, directly from the UCAT website. Okay, we've got voting estimates for a constituency in 2016 and 2020. Calculate the number of people who voted in the constituency in 2016. Right, so we've got all the parties down here, purple party, blue party, green party, yellow party, orange party, and all the numbers there. Now, they're all awkward numbers. You don't, and you could immediately, and many students would, go, I'll jump straight for the calculator. No, right? Don't do that. You don't need to. Look at the answers. They're different enough that you can estimate. So what I would do here is I would simplify it down to the number of thousands that there are, okay? So we've got 23 there, half there, 8 there, 23 there, and 1 there, okay? So this is what I would do if I saw those numbers. I would go 3, 2, 1. 23 plus 22, that's 45, right? I'll add my 8, that's 53. I'll add my 1, that's 54. I'll add my half, that's 54 and a half. Which one's closest to 54 and a half? Well, it's C. Bosh, correct response is C. Done, right? I don't need to know that it's 55,225 to get to the answer, okay? Of course, you could go through and go, well, it's 23,333 plus 501 plus 730 on your numbery calculator. Why would you bother? Okay, you don't need that level of precision. Pick it up, do some mental arithmetic, okay? Do some estimation. So that strategy again is simplify each number to its number of thousands. You could even go as far as simplifying it to one significant figure. So if I just did 20,000, 20,000, 1,000, 8,000 and half and no thousands, I'd probably get to the answer as well. Although that might get a little bit imprecise, seeing as I've got a 45 there as well. Okay, that method will save you oodles of time, loads of time in this test. Let's do another one, and I'll show you the same example. Calculate the number of people who died or moved outside the constituency between 2016 and 2020. So what we've got here is 2016. The electorate is 81,651. It doesn't matter that it's that. I'm just going to go 81. 2020 is 85. So the difference there is 4. New young voters coming in is 13. Okay, answer looks like this. 85 minus 81 is 4, right, or 3,800. The new young voters moved in is 13,000. 13 minus the 3,815 gets you to 9,484. So again, in my method, that would have just been 13 minus the 4, which would have got you to 9. I'll look at that. B is the only one with a 9 in it. That's the answer. Okay, so 85 minus 81 is 4. Knock that off your 13. There you go. You get something with a 9 in it. You've got B. Done. No calculator required. Again, this is all just addition and subtraction. The next one is percentages, which again, I don't understand why students can't look at and see them as fractions, see them as percentages, see them as space, okay? So for example, this one here, look, calculate the percentage of people who turned out in the constituency in 2020. Well, okay, so we've got an electorate of 85,000 and a turnout of 59,000. Straight away, I'm going to simplify that to 80,000 and 60,000 and go, well, maybe even just 8 and 6. And I'll go, well, 6 is 3/4 of 8, right? So that's really easy. 6 is 3/4 of 8. 3/4 is 75%. It's going to be a bit less than that because that's 85 and that's 59. So what's the number I've got that's closest to a bit less than 75? Oh, look, it's E. Done. Right? Correct response, E. Now you could put it into a calculator and go 59,528 divided by 85,466 times 100 and get the answer of 69.65%, but you simply don't need to, okay? So the tip with this is work on your numeracy. Your maths is basic. This is adding, subtracting and calculating percentages. Work on your numeracy, your ability to see and visualize numbers. That method, the Zequals method, have a look at the link in the description, right, is really useful at getting this down. Remember, it's multiple choice. Precision isn't necessary. And if you can do that, not only will you be better at your UCAT, you'll be much, much better at mathematical questions in all of your academic courses. Thank you very much, and I'll see you